Hey guys, Scare9 here, welcome back to my channel today, and in this video we're going to be going over a lot of information regarding update 1.2.3 that DMG was putting out over on Twitter. Now, a lot of this Guardian Con stuff was going on yesterday, which is awesome. I believe they've raised over $1.5 million at this point, which is insane. But every time the stream hit a milestone, DMG would tweet out another thing that would be included in this patch 1.2.3, and because of this we got a ton of information, so we're going to be going through all of them, including my favorite point, confirmation of where the exotic catalyst for Sturm will come from. So we will just go ahead and go in chronological order. These are all pretty big updates, so I'm pretty excited to go through all of them. He first says, with update 1.2.3, we will be adjusting escalation protocol weapon reward chances to be more deterministic. What does that mean? Players improve chances each time they defeat the EP boss. So this is really cool. I know a lot of people have had to do over 100 attempts and that sort of thing in order to get the shotgun. This of course led to the cheese where people were killing the boss at the same time that it ended and getting infinite chances and that type of thing. And obviously Bungie would rather realistic farming expectations rather than people having to use and abuse an exploit in the game. So they're going to be fixing these. I imagine that every player should be able to get them fairly simply. Maybe this will ensure that players don't have to run more than 20 or 30 times. They didn't really detail it. They tend not to do that, but it's still a really cool change that they are able to do this, because going into the future it'd be really nice to see this on more things like raid loot and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily the most interesting thing in terms of escalation protocol, although it will be quite helpful for a lot of people. To me, I'm just more excited for the prospect of this in the future. Now in the next one he says, in update 1.2.3 we are adding the ability to preview Sparrow, contrails, and spawn effects from the inventory. Finally, we've been asking about this for such a long time, so that's really cool. In the next one we get commas will be added to large numbers as separators in the in-game report and the post-game report. Of course, this is referring to things like Crucible, the in-game report there, or even, during raids whenever you wipe, that is considered the in-game report. So stuff like that, just a little fix, but still very nice. The next one, he says that they are going to be fixing the recoil for the West of Sunfall 7 and the Trials hand cannon, A Cold Sweat. I didn't know there was a bug there, so that's very interesting. In the next one, they say, once Destiny update 1.2.3 is live, the exotic catalyst for Sturm may be earned by defeating enemies on Nessus. Now, this one has me super intrigued, because as we discussed, the Sturm was the only one that didn't have a confirmed drop source for its catalyst, and I find it really interesting that they picked Nessus for the location of this. That has to have some type of significance. Nessus is one of the only two locations that the Fallen appear in Destiny 2, the first of course being Titan. And so since the new Forsaken expansion is centered around the Fallen, I would not be surprised if we get some type of in-game thing on Nessus, and that's why they're promoting Nessus play with the Sturm. It could just be random, the Sturm is obviously from the two colonists that had the entire story tied in with the Exodus Black ship, I believe, so maybe they're just tying it in via lore there, but the Fallen tie-in is very interesting as well. In the next tweet, he says that momentum will be completely removed from heroic adventures with this update. That's very interesting because that opens up the prospect of things being removed from, things like heroic strikes and this type of thing. Heroic adventures aren't the most participated in activity within Destiny, so that's a small change, but it's still very interesting. The next one's actually quite big for players like me who like to try to collect everything, but I guess will be rendered a moot point whenever the collections actually are added in a couple of months. Anyways, this tweet says, once all Mercury Forge weapons have been obtained, they become available for direct purchase from Brother Vance in the Lighthouse. So that's really cool as well. I guess if you are missing something like, I don't know, the Perfect Paradox, you accidentally deleted it, the West of Sunfall 7, now that it's being fixed, you want to try it out, stuff like that, you will now be able to go and directly buy them from him, which is pretty cool. But like I said, once the collections are added to the game, it won't really matter anymore. And then the final one is really cool. He says, as part of this update, Iron Banner events will use Iron Temple fire pits as capture stones instead of flags. That is so cool. So whenever you're doing Iron Banner, you're playing Control, you now have to stand around a fire to capture the zone instead of, flags like normal, which once again is really cool. He does make a note that this won't be in today's event, the one that starts in just a couple of hours, but from every event from now forward, that will happen, which is so cool. That will, of course, just add to the theme of Iron Banner, make it just look a lot better, and I'm definitely a fan of that change. So the thing that I like a lot about all of these changes is that they're smaller changes that really really just get me so excited for the future. If they're looking at things as small as aesthetics and Control, what else are they looking at changing just to make the quality of life experience in terms of like base aesthetics a little bit more pleasing? Or even when you're looking at things like the modifiers being altered in Heroic Adventures, does that mean that they are also looking at things like heroic strikes and that sort of thing? So it's really cool that they're really getting down to the nitty gritty, the smaller just aesthetic details. I love that. And then in addition to the things like the escalation protocol drops, it really means that they're just tweaking the game to make it just a better, more rounded, all-around game, and that makes me very, very excited. So let me know which of these changes you are most excited for down in that comment section below. I hope you guys did enjoy this video today. If you did, make sure to leave a like rating and to share it with your friends. If you're interested in watching either of the two videos on screen, you can click their respective annotations to be taken to them. If you're brand new to my channel, make sure to hit the giant version of my logo on screen to be subscribed to more awesome Destiny 2 videos and live streams. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you in my next video.